Alright, let's call it a day. I mean, on the music at least. Morning, afternoon, everybody. Wow, you can see where my head's at already. Happy Monday to you, JD here. I can already see through the names that we got people from all over the map, which is so cool. Thank you guys for tuning in today for today's Tech Monday. I'm JD. I am your host for this wild journey that we call Monday. So today we're gonna go over some. I found a cool new thing I can do on this webinar that I'm going to show you guys right now. It's loading. Hello. So we're going to go over everybody's favorite thing today, which is a combination of Facebook and policies. Because I know how much everybody loves rules and policies, and I know how much a lot of you love Facebook, so we're going to combine the two of them for just the best day. So the brand recently came out with these. It's mirrored for you, but if you had these in real life, they would be readable. They are the ad policies relevant to real estate. So one thing that a lot of people have been asking me for and the brand for are policies, right? What are our policies regarding social media? And that's a very broad statement. That can mean a lot of different things. And so the brand has come up. By the way, hi Becky. I saw your message. Hello from Michigan to Florida. It feels like I'm in Florida as how it's been the past couple weeks. Anyway, So yeah, they came up with some policies on a few different topics that we're gonna go through. Oh, it's displaying correctly for you. Thanks, Tabby. Sweet. So it's not mirrored then. And I want to take us through them and talk about them a little bit. The reason I'm doing my face right now, just for a hot second, is I want to talk about real estate law overall, because it is relevant to what we're going to talk about in a minute here. So, as always, though, by the way, guys, if you have questions, please write them in the chat box as we go, and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. But I don't think I need to tell you guys this, but real estate law in regards to social media advertising is very vague. It's all a gray area. There are, talking about Michigan specifically, we have laws that whenever we talk about real estate and social media advertising, our state laws and Michigan Association of Realtors and our local boards all point to the same section of laws, but the laws were written 20, 30 years ago, right? They're not updated. So someone says, hey, do I have to have my DBA on my cover photo? And they say, well, here are the real estate laws. And they go, right, but those laws don't answer my question. So like specifically, do I have to have this? And they'll say, here are the real estate laws. And so it's this vicious kind of circle. And I know that a lot of local boards, at least in Michigan, are interpreting things differently. I think I have a buddy who works for the state Michigan Association of Realtors, and he says that's kind of their game plan, is to let the local boards police these issues, and to kind of stay hands off, which is frustrating because if an agent in Gaylord is having different rules than an agent in Holland, and they're based off the exact same verbiage, that's frustrating. So as we go through this, the two things to keep in mind is that these are policies; these are not laws. So they are policies from the brand of Coldwell Banker and mixed with Facebook policies, and that it's a gray area. And we'll get to a couple of them in a second. So if you want to find these, all you have to do is go to CB Exchange, log into CB Exchange, and if you just search Facebook up here in the top in the search bar, for me, it is one of the most recent things that comes up. It is Facebook ad policies relevant to real estate. So you're just going to click on that, and boom, it shows up right here for you, loud and proud for everyone to see. It's a 6-page PDF. I obviously have mine printed. You can download it to your computer. You can do whatever you want with it. You can just say, JD, what's that one thing say? So we're going to go through this and just dissect it a little bit. I don't know what all these symbols are. I kind of like this one, but I don't know what it is. Anyway, we're going to scroll down. So the first one is their lead ads policy. Now you can go through and look at all of this, but there are two main things. I don't know if I can have it side by side. Tabby, can you see myself and the screen, or is it just my face that you can see right now? I was hoping to have them side by side, but when I'm talking like this, I don't like just having you guys stare at one screen. I want to make it at least a little bit more. Both. Thank you, Debbie. That's great. Okay, so there are two big things that this lead ads screen is telling us, this page. The first thing is that if you collect lead ad data, you have to use it for what you originally told me you were going to use my info for. If I sign up through one of your ads for some sort of free home evaluation, And that's what and you say, click here to get more information on your home. And I get that. That's awesome. But you can't then take that and add me to a bunch of other databases. You especially can't sell my data. Like, you can't sell my data to another thing that I did not sign up for. What boils down to, if I'm giving you my lead info, you need to use that for what you told me you'd use it for. So the policy reads, you may not sell lead ad data under any circumstances, and you may not transfer lead ad data except as explicitly provided in the next sentence, which is, subject to your privacy policy, these terms, any offer terms, and your compliance with applicable laws, rules, and regulations, Facebook is not restricting you from transferring lead ad data with an affiliate, franchisee, or third party acting solely on your behalf to fulfill the purpose for which the lead ad data was collected. So basically what that's saying is you can't sell the data, and you can only use it for the things that you said you were going to use it for. With the exception of like transferring it to your CRM. So if you use Zap to keep track of all your clients, if you use some other CRM, I know LionDesk is one I've heard a lot, you are able to take that info and put it into your CRM, but you can't sell that info and you can't use it for any other marketing purposes. If I sign up for your newsletter, you can't sign me up for any other newsletters. Secondly, I hope that makes sense. And secondly, you can see this section at the bottom. Advertisers must not create lead ads questions to request the following types of info. One common thing you'll see over the rest of these is like a lot of it is fair housing, right? You cannot ask for stuff about politics, race or ethnicity, religion, sexual orientation, etc. Things like that. That I would say should go without saying, but you never know. So yeah, those are sorts of things you obviously can't ask about. But then you can see on here too, account numbers, criminal history, financial information, government issued identifiers, health info. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to go through the whole list. Don't ask for people's usernames and passwords though. I mean, that should kind of go without saying. But yeah, basically the whole thing about leads here is if you're going to do a lead ad, use the info for what you tell people you are going to be using it for. Simple as that. Let's scroll down to the next one, personal attributes policy. Now this is the one that surprised me the most when I first read this, and this is also the one that I would say sits in that sits in that gray zone more than anything else here does. I'm gonna fix my dog up here because he's got a nice photo, and if you guys can't see that, your day might not be as bright as it would have been originally, and that's just a big part of your day. Anyway, okay, back to business. Ads must not contain content that asserts or implies personal attributes. You cannot, and the next line is important too. This includes direct or indirect assertions or implications. That is a very vague and all-encompassing statement, and I think will raise a lot of questions. Some that I don't off the top of my head necessarily have the answer to, but thankfully they give you examples down here. Ad copy examples. So buying a home is okay, obviously. Are you looking to buy a home? Well, buy this one, right? You could say that if you wanted to. We know the value of your home. That's a no-no because it is implying, it's a direct, I say that's a direct assertion about a person's financial status. We know what your home is worth. The next one, can you afford your mortgage? That, again, you are talking about somebody's financial status. And then number 3, are you at risk of losing your home? Now, one thing that you'll notice, especially in the verbiage of the policy, you'll notice that financial status is bolded. Like the top sentence is everything else in the middle is just kind of normal. What that says to me is that that's the one that they are, I don't know if I'd say most concerned about, but have the most issues with. I mean that people violate that a lot. So it's difficult from an advertising perspective because you don't want your content to be too generic, but you also can't break any laws, especially with real estate. So as much as possible, keep your information as generic as you can in terms of the kind of words that you use. Don't talk specifically to that person. Can you afford your mortgage? Are you at risk of losing your home? But you can do something like buying a home, looking for a rental, check out all our great things. The two things that come to mind that I don't have complete answers for are, if you're doing a lead ad with listening to leads, can you say, your home might be worth more than you think? Because that's implying that you know something about the value of their home, but it's not implying anything about their financial status, just about the value of the properties based on data. Is that okay? Well, it says here that you can't say know the value of your home, but you're not, this is my point, is that it's a gray area. Another one, can you say, tired of renting, now is a great time to buy a home? Well, okay, so then you're kind of implying that people might be renting, but you're not talking specifically, can you afford to rent anymore, right? So this is the one that I would, not that I would take it with a grain of salt, but that I would say is the most vague, and it's going to come down to how people enforce it. You know what's going on in your area. You know what you can and can't say, and you know when you're doing something what your gut's telling you, right? So this is the one that I would say is the vaguest, and I don't have a solid grasp on it because it is so new, and it's the policy from the brand. So be careful is the short version there. Um, page 3. This is the obvious one: discriminatory practice policies. One thing that I think people the important thing on this page are the numbers 1 and 2 here, where you cannot wrongfully target specific people, but you also cannot wrongfully exclude certain people from seeing your ads. And that's a two-way street. That's one of the fun things about Facebook, is that you can say, I don't want people to a certain group of people to see my ads. Now, when you look at the policy up there, you see, again, race, ethnicity, color, national origin, religion, sex, age, sexual orientation, gender identity, family status, and disability, which are protected, and then medical or genetic condition. So, in theory, one thing you could do, and I've had agents ask me about this before, is that you could exclude realtors from seeing your ad. The idea being, well, I only want buyers or sellers to see my ad. I don't want realtors to see it, which I don't necessarily agree with that mentality, because what if a realtor sees your ad and it's perfect for their buyer, then it comes together, etc., etc. So I have seen people use this exclude before, and there's nothing wrong with using Facebook's exclude tool when building an audience, unless you are excluding any of those things above. Don't exclude a certain race. Obviously, when you're creating an ad, the first thing they say is gender, all, male or female. Stick with all. Don't go one way or the other. And then don't wrongfully target specific groups of people for advertising too. I don't know why you would be targeting people with a specific genetic condition, but don't. Is my kind of idea there. But yeah, this one is one of those that sort of goes without saying, right? Like, don't discriminate when you're doing ads, even on the back end of your audience, because obviously, if I see an ad, I don't know who you targeted for me to see that, but I'm seeing it. But Facebook can see what you've targeted. Couple more here. Text overlay policy. Now, this is very much a Facebook policy, and all of this stuff might probably be exactly from Facebook, like verbatim. But basically, excessive text and ad images may result in your ad reaching fewer people or not running at all. Try using little or no image text when possible. So I get this question a lot. People have this issue where they want to put text in their photo, or maybe they have a postcard campaign that they want to do a digital version of on Facebook, which is fine, but Facebook generally does not want more than 20% of your photo to be text. The reason they do this is kind of a infinity sort of loop, because they've done research for years, and what they've noticed is that people don't like interacting with posts that have a lot of text in the image. People don't click on it, people don't look at it, don't spend the time on it. So therefore, they start showing it less. They kind of weigh that less in their algorithm. And then once they weigh it less in their algorithm, people see it even less, and then they take it more out of the algorithm, and so it's sort of a vicious cycle. Now, it used to be that if your ad had 20% text or more in the image, Facebook would not run your ad at all. Just point blank, no. It is no longer that, but they will tell you your ad will have a reduced reach. Basically, because they know that people don't want to interact with those things, they are not going to force people to click on it or force it into their newsfeed. If I know that ad is not going to run well, I'm showing you an example. If Facebook knows that an image with text is not going to perform well, they're not going to force it in my newsfeed on Facebook, because if they do, and I see it and I get frustrated, it's going to make me want to be on Facebook less. So then it's that whole thing. They're basically not going to force people to look at something that they don't want to look at. So, like I said, avoid spreading text all over the image. Now, two things here. One, if you want to have text in your ad, which obviously your ads should all have text, put it above the post. Do not put it in the image, put it above. Does it get to be as big and bold as you might want it to be? Probably not. But the image is going to be cleaner, it's going to be more attractive, and it's going to draw more eyes and hopefully more clicks to it. Secondly, if you want to know how much text is in your ad, is this going to run okay? Is this too much? Is this too little? What you can do, and you can go to, I'm just going to Google it because I know it'll come up for me. It's a Facebook link. Now you can just Google text overlay, or the link is facebook.com/ads/tools/text_overlay. I'm going to put the link, let me try putting it down in this handout section, maybe a chat. I'll try this chat box right here. You should all hopefully get the link just now. It'll take you here, and basically it'll say upload an image. So I'm going to upload one I have in my saved in my downloads. Actually, it is the Global Luxury 4th of July photo. So you can see there's a little bit of text down here. Now this will definitely run. There is not 20% text in here, but I'll click open. And what we'll see, it'll load, and it says image text okay. Your ad will run normally. So basically it's saying, yeah, there's text, but you're going to be fine. Now I'm going to try a different one. I'm going to try this image here, which is basically all text. I mean, there's barely any image on there, right? So I'm going to click open. I'm going to see what this one says. Hi. So now it says you may not reach your audience because there's too much text in the image. Facebook prefers ad images with little or no text. Unless you qualify for an exception, change your image before placing your order. So you can see right here in this box on the right, you can see, right, text image okay, low, medium, high. It's exactly what it sounds like. If you have low text, it's going to be slightly lower, but it'll still run okay, more so than if it was high or medium. So, but I, as far as the advertising part of it goes, minimize the text as much as possible in your image. If you have something that you want to say it above the ad. That's what's going to run better. So, excuse me. Yeah, that's that, I guess. Last but not least on this page, responding to a disapproved ad. So I have had this a lot. I've had a lot of questions about this probably 3 months ago now. Facebook has now, basically the real estate industry came to Facebook and said, hey, listen, you guys are great. Love the platform. Love the videos. Nice to meet you, Mark. Problem though, a lot of your tools that we can use for advertising go against our national federal laws, and we can't really police that, because if some agent in Huntsville is targeting or excluding people, or some agent in Holland, Michigan is doing something that they're not allowed to do, like I said, the board can't see the audience. They can't make them give them the audience. So how do we police that? How do we as a real estate industry allow our agents and our employees to use your tools without breaking the law? So Facebook said, okay, fair enough. I hear you. Nice to meet you too. Thanks for coming in. What we're going to do is we're going to roll out basically I don't know what the best way for, an alert. So if the system, if the ads manager or boosting system senses that your ad is for real estate, which has done a pretty good job of policing, we're going to have a little alert come up, and we're going to say, hey, listen, we know this is a real estate ad, or it seems like it is. Don't break your... Someone's car alarm is going off outside my window. I'll make sure it's not mine. Nope, we're good. It's not me. We know you guys are realtors. You guys have national laws. It's not up to us to police and not break the laws. It's up to you. So if you check this box and you certify compliance, which is what the term is, certify compliance. If you certify compliance, you're telling us you're not going to break the law. If you break the law, that's on you. We wash our hands of it. That's all it is Facebook washing their hands of responsibility here. So, which I get. It's not their role to police, advertising real estate law. So the problem is when they rolled out that tool, it only worked like half the time. Half the time, if I was doing a real estate ad, that little box would come up and say, click here to certify compliance. I would do it. Click boost. My ad would go just fine. The other half of the time, that box would not pop up. I would run my ad, and then I would get an email saying, you did not certify compliance for real estate. Your ad's not going to run. If that happens to you, this is sort of the fix for it. You need to click this appeal button. Now, again, you can see the three sort of notes here, but basically Facebook is saying if you feel like you've been wrongly told that you're wrong, this is how you can take care of it. And most of the time I've seen it happen, people have been just fine. There have been a couple of times where people were breaking the law. They were targeting groups that they shouldn't have been targeting, and because of that, their ad was not approved, and they had to go in and edit their audience. That's good. That's the way this tool was meant to work. But there have been issues with it in the past. So So yeah, so if you ever have an issue with a Facebook ad, and the tool has gotten a lot better, the glitch is kind of all out, it's not 50-50 anymore, but if you do have an issue with this, here are some notes on it, but also, as always, you can reach out to me on this. So yeah, that's sort of the policy here. If you kind of came in late, I've seen some more people trickle in. This is a Facebook ad policies for real estate with a mix of stuff from the Coldwell Banker brand and Facebook themselves. Basically, don't use lead ads for things that you don't use lead information for things you did not tell me you were going to use my info for, and don't target certain parts about my identity. Personal attributes policy is the gray area that's going to be hard to navigate, but basically make your ad copy as generic as possible when it comes to who you're talking to. Discriminatory practices, don't discriminate, simple as that. Don't put text in your ads, don't put text in your images for your ads, and this is how you respond to a disapproved ad. Are there any questions on this ad policy? I know that ad policies are boring, and I'm trying to stay as energetic as possible because I want this to sort of sink in, but they are important. You know, it's such a wild west even still with real estate advertising on social media, and you know, we talked with our local board in the Holland area about this once, and he told us in an email point blank, he's like, there are no court cases or lawsuits to determine any of this stuff. So all we have to go off of is how we think the courts would rule. So when we say, is this okay, is that okay, and I say we don't know, that's because we literally don't. There are no cases to support it. And that's why we have these policies, that's why the brand has these policies, and that's why the Schmidts have the compliance issues with, or the compliance policies with business pages, all of that sort of stuff, because we feel if you follow our rules or our guidelines that you'll be more safe, and if somebody were to report you or something and you followed our rules, we could back you up. So yeah, are there any questions on this? Did it make sense? There's one unrelated thing we're going to go over after this, but I just want to make sure that everyone's all good on this topic before we move on. I'm not getting any questions, I don't think, so I'm going to assume y'all are cool with this. And like I said, if you want to find out more on this, all you got to do is go to CB Exchange and type in Facebook, and it will appear, so type in Facebook, and it'll appear right here, Facebook ad policies relevant to real estate. So I'm not getting any questions, so I'm going to assume you guys know this like the back of your hand now. One last thing we're going to go over real quick that I just rolled out on the Gen Blue page. So taking a step back, if you're not part of the Facebook group for Gen Blue, you got to be a part of it. It's where all of the coolest things are happening. We talk about marketing announcements, new Coffee with Mike videos, a bunch of really cool stuff is happening there. So please go ahead and join that group. It's as simple as clicking on Hello Merkle Babies. It's as simple as just searching Generation Blue Schmidt family of companies if you're part of our Coldwell Banker team, and it'll pop right up here. One thing we just announced as far as Coldwell Banker goes is we have a new form for requesting to be part of the Global Luxury Program. Let me reword that. To be featured as Home of the Week on the Schmidt family of companies luxury page. If you don't know, right now we have a system where once a week, probably 48 weeks out of the year, we feature a luxury home of the week on our Schmidt luxury Facebook page. That listing gets free advertising paid for by the company, a video created for their listing, and kind of marketed on Facebook, advertised to a luxury audience that we've crafted. In the past, the way we've been doing it for about a year now, a little over a year since we launched last April, is we would, if a certain listing came up, we would go after it. We would search our Schmidt websites for luxury listings from our agents, and we would contact that agent and ask them if they wanted to be featured. We'd say, congrats, you've been chosen. Please send us your photos, your listings, etc. The problem is that too many times we would either get ignored, which is okay, people are busy, I understand that, or people would say, I'll send them to you tomorrow, and we would never get them, and that makes our scheduling difficult because Jessica Peplinski, the regional admin up in the Leelanau County area, runs the page with me, and she spends a lot of her time chasing after photos and videos And essentially we don't want to, you know, spend time going after people who don't want to be featured and for whatever reason, and that's totally up to them. So we have created a new Google form for you guys to fill out if you have a listing that you want to be featured. The only two requirements, as always, is that it has to be global luxury, which means like 500 and above, and it has to be residential. If you want your listing, and I'm going to put the link right here as well in the chat box. If you want your listing to be featured as luxury home of the week or considered to be featured, all you got to do is click on that link. It is on the Facebook group, and it is on. I just put it in the chat. It'll take you to this submission form, and all you got to do is fill out the info: your name, email, office, the address of the listing, the link to it, and then if you have high-res photos or video. High-res professional photos are required to be considered, and anyone with high-res video generally goes straight to the top of the list. Sandy says, how do I add a link to photos? That's a great question, and that's one that I've had a couple of times as well, Sandy. People say, what kind of link? Most of the time when we request photos for a home of the week, the agent will send, or the admin will send us normally a Dropbox link or a Google Drive link. However, they have those photos stored. If you do not have a link to them, if they're just saved on your computer somewhere, you can say that below. You can say saved on my computer or available upon request or something. But we're trying to crack down on the scheduling of this a little bit more. So if you write something like that, if you want to say, saved on my computer, that is more than acceptable. But when we email you saying you've been chosen, we need those photos in the time limit that we've given you, because we do edit a video, we do create a lot of copy and content for this, and it's tough when a home of the week starts on Tuesday, and we don't get any of the info until Monday morning or Monday afternoon even. So that's the answer to that, Sandy, is that generally when we say, can you send us the photos, people say, here's a Dropbox link, or here's a Google Drive link, or WeTransfer is another one that I use a lot. Any of those are acceptable at all. If you have the high-res video, if it's on YouTube, if it's on YouTube, I'll take it down from YouTube, I'll rip it. If you have the file from Dropbox though, or again Google Drive, those are what we use the majority of the time, but whatever you have them on. And then you see the last one. Is there anything special about this property that makes it unique or stand out, right? There doesn't have to be an answer. You can just say, yeah, it's a luxury home, and that is more than acceptable for that box. But every once in a while you have a listing like the Butterball Mansion. That's what made that one unique, was that it was the Butterball Mansion. You can have its own private wine cellar downstairs. Anything that, if I said, what's cool about this home, that you would respond to me with that statement. So please submit your homes. We want to feature you guys. That's what we're here to do, is to get you as an agent and your listing featured as our luxury home of the week. But we want to make sure that when we ask for photos and video, that people are able to respond to those, and that you want to be chosen. So I already see the response tally grew since I've been talking, which is awesome. But that is going to do it for today. We're at 28 out of 30 minutes, so we're right on time. Does anybody, before we kind of wrap up, have any questions about the Facebook ad policies or about the luxury home of the week submission form? I'm gonna keep talking while I wait, because talking is quicker than typing, and if someone's typing, I don't want to cut them off. But as always, if you have any questions about either of these two things or anything at all, please, please, please let me know. One last thing I want to show you guys while we wait is one of our YouTube channels. Now, you guys will be seeing these videos pretty consistently. It's where we post stuff from. But what I want to show you is that, thanks, Tabby, is that if you go to Facebook and you type in Schmidt Family of Companies, whoop. Actually, no, that's not what it's under. Let me see what we have it under. Sorry, I want to make sure I tell you guys the right answer here. Schmidt Family of Companies Video Classroom. SFOC Video Classroom. And we are working on getting a quicker link to it. This YouTube channel is for all Schmidt Family of Companies employees and agents and everybody involved. And if you click on playlists especially, this is where we do everything that is useful to you guys, you can find here. So this webinar, this Tech Monday, will be uploaded. You can see all of my tips and stats videos that I've done. You know, whether it's this. Ooh, wow! Look at that old office. This is what people want from you on Facebook. How to protect your home from a malware attack. Probably my most proud video that I've done yet. Besides that double chin there, that's better. All of these videos are on this channel for you and available 24/7. Any day of the week. I recently did a webinar series for our St. Croix office. Shout out to St. Croix. It was a 4-part series on Facebook, and the last one was on video in your digital footprint. So we covered, I mean, basically everything about Facebook, from how to create a page to, hey Chris, how to post content, what kind of stuff to post, and how to do video. All of those things are covered in this series. So if you're interested, go to the SFOC video classroom and click on the St. Croix training part 1 and go through those videos. They're all here and available for you guys. That is all. It is technically, Michael Smith, sorry, was a good place to find a current Schmidt Family Company's policy on Facebook social media content. This would be it, Mike. This would be part of the policy. I do have a video on the YouTube channel that goes over Facebook business page compliance, but this, you know, our policy, is the brand's policy. Again, Schmidt, when you talk about a social media policy, that's a very vague term because it could apply to just about anything. Like you said, copywriting content, what kind of content to post, how does that need to be presented as a licensed realtor? Like, those are all different policies in some way or form, but this one is the one from the brand that would cover most of those things that we would echo 100% as Schmidt Family Companies. But if you have any other specific questions, let me know. But anyway, we are over time now because I talk way too much. If you guys have any questions about anything in life, even if you just want to talk about, you know, fruit, give me a call, give me a text. Otherwise, have a great week, and I will hope to see you guys all soon. Wait, I don't want to say goodbye and then be awkward. Goodbye.